Hello, I just wanted to do a quick video. Somebody has sent me a message saying that they're going from, I think, Rotterdam to Benidorm in March. The do's and don'ts of going to Benidorm. I would like to thank everybody who's watched my previous video, Benidorm Scams. It's had 30,000 watches. So I thought I'd do another quick video of my experiences in Benidorm. Right, I'll start with the don'ts, and I'd say now I've been probably 14 times I've been to Benidorm, and don't get me wrong, I love it, it's a great place, great night out, but I'll start with the airport. Now, we did once, when we landed at the airport, there's a bus on level 2 which goes from Alicante Airport to Benidorm. I think the buses run about every hour, and it's about €10, and we normally get that instead of for the transfer to get to Benidorm. Now, once we missed the bus, and we were approached by a bloke saying, "Oh, you know, I'll take you to Benidorm for the same price." There was 3 of us, €10 each. Now, my mates were a bit dubious about this, and we didn't do it. I would have personally just jumped in the taxi, but I think maybe it could be a way that you could get robbed or something like that. Anyway, the second thing is in Benidorm is always be careful of these potato men. What you'll see is when you're walking around on the street, you'll see somebody setting up a cardboard box with 3 potatoes, and they've got a pea, and they're basically hiding the pea underneath one of the potatoes. You've got to guess which one it's under, and you bet on which one it's under. Now, when you're watching other people playing, these potato men are really rubbish at the game. What they tend to do is, you can just see the pea underneath one of the potatoes. So you'll come along, give them €5, you'll win, and they'll give you €10, right? That's what happens. And then you'll think, "Oh, this is a doddle, this is, I'll give him €50. And then they shuffle the potatoes around. You can spot which one it is, but then when he picks the potato up, he sort of picks the pea up at the same time, and none of them have got a potato, none of them have got a pea underneath them, and you get scammed and you lose your money. Bearing in mind as well that the crowd round there, they have like about 10 goons, women and men, some of them pretending they're English, some lookouts, and it's just something that's best to be avoided. Now, another thing with Benidorm, if you're staying at a hotel or something like that, you'll get a rep come round saying, "Do you want to go on the free blanket trip?" We had that one year, and basically they take you on a free trip. I think we went to Guadalest, which is quite nice, and you basically they provide a free coach trip, so you can go to Guadalest, have a look around, and then come back. But what they do, they take you off to a location somewhere, like a little house, and then they give you a hard sell to try and sell you a bed. So they have these beds that have got merino wool in the mattresses, and one of these beds is about £2,500, and they'll give everybody really hard sell to try and buy one of these beds, and you always get 2 or 3 people on the coach buying one of these beds, and then that pays for the trip. But again, as long as you don't take your credit card with you, and you've got no intention of buying a bed, and you just sit there and listen to it and then go, "I've got a bed, I don't want one," you're fine. Do you know what I mean? Now, when you're out and around in Benidorm, I think the main area of aggro is along the main strip. There's the Red Lion bar, and further down in the middle of where the bars are, there's a KFC. Now, that KFC is basically where all your pickpockets, prostitutes, chick boys, you know, you walk past that KFC and there's always something going on. If you're in the KFC, there's fights breaking out. I know there's some big black prostitutes who look a bit like Drogba, and they've got like purple tracksuits on, and they're always hanging around outside the KFC. So when you go past the KFC, don't linger, just put your foot down, fast walking, straight past the KFC. So that's a good tip, do you know what I mean? Another thing in Benidorm is the food's crap. everywhere you go, it's very hard to find somewhere decent to eat. If you like good food, you're going to be struggling, because a lot of it's English food. It's all crap. So that's worth bearing in mind. I'd say the only exception to that is you'll see there's along the main strip where the shops are. There's a cafe there called Johnny's Bar, and it's the guy who's the singer in the AC/DC tribute band that plays on the seafront. I think they play on Daytona Bar on a Sunday, and he owns that cafe, and that is well worth the trip because the food in there is quite good. It's not expensive, and I would recommend that. Right, now what we'll do now is get on to the do's. Now we've just done the don'ts, we'll get on to the do's. And I say I do like Benidorm. It's a good laugh. It's a good night out. If you go to where the English bars are, wherever you're staying in a hotel, if you need to find where the bars are, just say to a taxi driver, "Can you please take me to Cafe Benidorm?" And that is where there's like an area. You'll see all the bars, but there's an area that's a good place to start or a good place to finish your night, because there doesn't tend to be any aggro in there. A lot of these bars in Benidorm are a bit like English working men's clubs that have cabaret acts on, so you can go and watch Robbie Williams, Take That, you know, Motown tribute bands, ABBA tribute bands, comedians. Later on in the night, you know, you get sort of sex acts like Sticky Vicky and things like this, and lesbian twosomes and things like that, which they probably start about 11, 12 o'clock, but earlier on it's all cabaret. And I tell you what, it's a good laugh. I would recommend it. So good places, Cafe Benidorm, and then there's a zebra crossing. Over the zebra crossing, Sinatra's, both really good. If you're sort of in your 40s plus, maybe. If you're younger than that, there's quite a few bars before you get to that. On there's like Chaplin's and Champions. There's quite a few bars, so you'll be alright. Good things to do in Benidorm. There's a theme park called Terra, and it's a bit like you know, these American sort of theme parks. It's sort of based around sort of pyramids and things like that, and there's water slides and roller coasters and stuff like that. And a good tip for the Terra is go in the afternoon. I think if you turn up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you can get in for €25. So that's a good tip, that is. Don't get there in the morning. The afternoon's cheaper. Roll in about 2 o'clock. I think it's open till about 7. You'll have plenty of time to go around it. But if you want to save yourself some money, go about 2 o'clock. Another good place is there's a zoo called Terra, and they've got quite a lot of animals, elephants. They've got lions, tigers, that kind of thing. And you can actually, they've got a zip wire. You can do this zip wire, and you can zip across the top of the elephants. So that's another good thing as well, worth doing. There's all, I think there's like Mundo Mar. We went there. There's quite a lot. There's quite a lot of attractions. If you're taking a family, you won't be short things to do. Well, that's my short do's and don'ts of Benidorm. Thank you very much. Goodbye.